All right, today we're going to look at the interior of the Lexus GX550. Now, this is the interior of the Lexus GX550, and many people are saying and claiming that the Lexus GX550 interior here is cheap. And you're hearing this over and over. Lexus is cheaped out, it's cheap, it's boring, and it's just a Toyota quality of materials on this Lexus GX550. Which of course is going to retail upwards of $80K if you get the Overtrail Plus. So today we're going to discuss why this Lexus GX550 does not have a cheap interior at all, and instead people are mistaking conservative with cheap. So let's pause right here, and this again is the Lexus GX550 interior, and we're going to look at these materials, and I'm going to point this out and just be very blunt here. These aren't cheap materials. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The reason why this gets mistaken as cheap is because it's gray. It's conservative, in other words. So Toyota and Lexus is a Japanese company, as everybody knows, and they're conservative. And they've always been conservative. And this is what a conservative interior looks like. But don't mistake this gray and black as cheap. A lot of people look at Land Rovers, Mercedes, Porsches, etc., and they have a lot of pizzazz to them. They look beautiful. They're very pleasing to the eye. They're very exciting to look at. Look at this. Look at that stitching on the shifter. Okay, look at this wood grain. Whether it's real or not, it doesn't matter. It's high quality. This is all good stuff. Look at the stitching around here. There's nothing cheap about this at all. I can assure you that all of this is up to Lexus quality. People are being, look at this wood grain here. It's gray. Okay, it's gray. Look at these light accents here. Again, looking at the stitching all over the place. It's gray. It's conservative. It's what the Japanese have done forever, and it should not ever be mistaken with cheapness. Look at the stitching around here. Look at the texture on the shifter button. You know, look at the stitching on the seats in the back. This is just gray and conservative. And a lot of people are thrown off by this. Look at that. Mark Levinson, they even got the stitching around the speaker. Look at this grill. You got the cool box. I can go on and on. But people are getting thrown off by the gray here, and they're going, it's cheap, it's cheap. It's not as good as a Mercedes or a Porsche or a Kia or a Land Rover or blah, 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 blah. Now, I will say they did change the steering wheel from the classic Lexus wood grain, and that's the only thing I have a problem with, because I did like that wood grain steering wheel. But again, that's all subjective. Now, speaking of subjective, we have to talk about the difference again between cheap and flashy. So in other luxury vehicles in the segment, you're going to see a lot of flashy, and so the GX is not going to do that. Toyota is conservative. They're super conservative, and they're not going to do flashy. They never have, and quite frankly, it's a cultural thing between East and West. Western cars are like a rap video. You know, they look exciting, or they're like the inside of the Vatican. You know, they're dripped with gold. It's exciting. It's visceral. It appeals to Westerners. Japanese senses simply are not like that. They're conservative. So your idea of flashy and fancy is not going to be the same as the Japanese idea of flashy and fancy. However, again, I want to underline that you're looking at high quality seats here. There's nothing about this seat that is cheap at all. This is rugged, durable, and made of high-quality materials. Now, it's fair to say that, hey, this doesn't excite me. That's completely fair to say. Now, looking here, we see that there's nothing exciting about this at all. It's gray and black. And you would be perfectly justified in saying that this is boring, especially if you're a Westerner. But that's subjective. What's not subjective, however, is the quality of the materials that you see here. These are not cheap materials. I can assure you they won't feel cheap. They won't feel cheap to the senses, and they will hold up. In other words, they'll be durable. Now, a lot of people have claimed that the previous generation GX, the GX460, was built better than this current GX550. But you're looking at, this is our GX, or 2021 Lexus GX460. What do you notice here that's similar to the current GX550 that's about to drop? That's right, it's gray and it's boring. But I can assure you that we absolutely thrashed this interior, and it simply is durable. It's high quality stuff. So you're looking at, again, this is our Lexus GX460, and you're going to notice here that it's gray. It's got a few wood appointments here on the side. Who cares? Whatever. There's some wood down here. The steering wheel is hardwood, and you can't even tell that it's hardwood because it's so dark. Partial part of this shiny part is basically wood. But if you're looking, again, if we're studying the fit and finish here and not getting triggered by, it's not neon green, it's not neon purple, it's not pleated with quadruple pleated, it doesn't look like a Rick Ross video. Okay, if you let that stuff go, which, by the way, that's all good. If you like that, that's great. It's just Lexus is never going to do that regardless. The closest they'll get is the Land Cruiser, or excuse me, the LX600 and its ultra luxury trim. But anyway, looking at this stuff, we can see here that it looks the same. You get the same type of stitching, the same type of, I don't know if this is real leather, fake leather. I don't care. It's good. That's the bottom line. This does not feel cheap, but it looks incredibly boring, and it is incredibly boring. And again, you're totally justified in saying that this is boring, but you cannot argue with the objective fact that these materials are in no way, shape, or form cheap. Now let's jump back. Remember what this looks like. Let's jump. All right, let's hop back into the GX550 interior. So this is the Lexus GX550 interior now. And what do you notice? That's right, it looks exactly the same as far as how it's gray and boring. It's not a downgrade at all. You can argue that this is fine-tuned a little bit, but it's conservative looking. And there's really no way around the conservative design, but again, to call this cheap is simply incorrect. It's boring, it's conservative, it's plain, but cheap and generic, which is kind of circulating around, it's cheap and generic. Look at these seats. These are not cheap, generic seats, I can assure you. In this case, they're just black or gray, and it's, again, being twisted as boring. I know I'm sounding like a repeating record, but you've got to understand the logic behind what Lexus and Toyota does and the logic behind their success. They prioritize durability, quality, and reliability. Flash, pizzazz, style, bling is not on that list. It's not a top priority. Now I know what many might say, well, this is Lexus GX550. It's a luxury vehicle. I'm paying $80,000. I should be impressed by the styling of the vehicle, and that's fair. However, Toyota is going to say, well, that's not what made us who we are today. What made us who we are today is our emphasis on quality, durability, and reliability. And oftentimes, that quality, durability, and reliability takes the form of boring and conservative. Why? Because these things are tested, and they are known to work, and therefore they are known to last. Now, that's not to say that Toyota couldn't jazz it up in here and make this look more interesting, but again, that's not the Eastern way. That's not the Japanese way. Quite frankly, that's the only reason why American cars and English cars and German and Italian cars can sell anymore, and that's just because they trigger Western styling sensibilities. That's the only thing keeping German, Italian, and English cars afloat. Their styling, because they certainly don't have it on reliability, and people go for it. And I'm not saying that's wrong. Don't confuse this conservatism, however, with the quality of the materials. It's boring. This is what a Lexus looks like. This is what Lexuses have always looked like on the inside. They've always looked boring. unless it's some special, sport model, or sometimes in these GXs they put red leather in them. Like you see here, these are images. We actually wanted a white GX460 with the red leather interior, or faux leather, whatever this is, just to make it more exciting, because it is more exciting. It looks more interesting. But other than the red color here, there's no material difference at all. It's the same high-level quality of materials. So you can't here and look at this stitching. This is not cheap. It's just gray. Yeah, it's not cheap at all. This is very similar to the Lexus, if not the exact same thing, just tweaked a little bit. I know, you see gray. But it's not to be confused with lack of quality. Just gray. All right, now back to the GX550, and you just saw the Land Cruiser 300 a second ago. So now we can kind of do a quick comparison. Going back over to the Lexus GX550, you'll see that you can get a few different colors, but of course they're boring and conservative. We have black, gray, tan, things like that. So this is right on Lexus's website, and here's a nice image. And there we go. We got like a sand color here. It's boring. It's boring. But there's no way on earth that these are cheap materials at all. It just doesn't fit with the Lexus reputation at all. And why they would just decide to cheap out on the interior is beyond me. All I can hypothesize again is that people are confusing boring colors for build quality. That, and there may be some relative inexperience with Lexus buyers. In other words, people that are new to Lexus may be cross-shopping with other, quote, luxury brands, and they're just thrown off by how conservative Lexus actually is. And to that I say, they've always been conservative. That's what it is. So, but if you're new to Japanese luxury vehicles, especially Lexus, then that may throw you off. It may throw you off seeing this black. Look at that. Look at those seats. There's nothing cheap about them. Nothing cheap about them. But this is not going to actually hit home to anybody unless you actually get to the Lexus dealer and sit your butt in these boring looking Lexus GX550 seats. Only then will you realize that, wow, this sure does look boring, but man, does it feel good. It feels solid. It feels reliable. It feels like it's not going to squeak, rattle, or peel itself apart after the first 20,000 miles, which is what some of your American and European luxury cars will do. They won't hold up as well either. They won't be as durable. How do we know this? Because it's a Lexus. That's all you need to know. I don't know how to prove it objectively other than to say that this stuff, this boring looking stuff, really lasts. Inside our Lexus GX460, as you can see here, we don't wash it. Look at the mud stains everywhere. The dash is dirty. Look at the mud splatter on the wind, or on the window here. It's a mess inside. We've absolutely abused this interior of this Lexus GX550 off-roading it all around the desert, and it's just held up. It's absolutely phenomenal. After over 20,000 miles, there's no peeling, there's no squirreliness. The thing is just well built. Boring, yes, but whatever materials they use in here are built like a tank. Yeah, look at it. Look at it. It's dirty, full of dust. Look at the dust and dirt. It's completely filthy. But this thing is it just takes it. You know what I mean? And this is abuse, so to speak, by most people's standards. We just do this because we live in a desert. It's just going to get dusty and dirty anyway. But we got nothing squirrely going on with the interior of this car at all. Now, a lot of people watch this channel have seen this Lexus. We take it through puddles and leave the sunroof open, and the dirty water splashes through the sunroof and gets all over the inside of the car. As you can see here, you can see the
How'd you see his truck? Where'd it go? Oh, I forgot that. You all right, Sammy? Oh. Really doesn't have anywhere to go. There's no drainage systems out here.
As you can see here, you can see the mud stains in the water and the dirt all over the windshield. And people go, why would you do that to your Lexus? Why would you just take it through a mud puddle? Look at the seat there. You know, why on earth would you take your Lexus through a mud puddle so it could splash mud all on the leather seats and all this? And the answer is because it's a Lexus. It can take it. There's no other way to put it. I wouldn't do this with any other car unless it was a Lexus. What I'm saying is, you can abuse the interior of this thing, get it muddy and dirty off-road, and it doesn't care. The materials take it. So yeah, why would you abuse your Lexus off-road? You got the sunroof open, you're splashing through puddles, you're getting dirt everywhere, you know, it's just, abusing the inside of it. And again, the answer is because the materials can take it. They're durable, and that's the point of the drama here, is that you don't have to worry about these materials. They're very, very high quality as far as their durability and fit and finish and how they feel and how they hold up. And all anybody can do about the interior of a car is give anecdotes of how well it holds up, and Lexus materials are strong.
Deal as she shouted, it's the funky lesson one to the grill. I should have known that something wasn't right in walking. The biggity boom was just ticking and clocking. A night boy in plaid is passed from his dad. Another straight in the fight man, but he wasn't from the right clan. To stop all the nonsense, defenses, my defense. Oh yeah. I know the motor's daily dense. Time has passed on, but it's been a million days. We're still knifed and divided, running round in haze. Knocking at my door, I've been feeling the boom since a little after 4. So what's up with that core? Was he really bored? Yo, break out the sword, let's go cruising in your Ford. Yeah, watch out, yo, Sweet knows the deal. As she shouted it out to funky lesson one to the crew. I should have known that something wasn't right in walking. The biggity boom drum was just clicking and talking. Like boy in plaid passed from his dad. Another straight fight man, wasn't from the right clan. So stop all the nonsense, defense is my defense. Oh yeah, I know the motor's daily dense. Time has passed on, it's been a million